Hi everyone, it's Lance Mohr, Tampa Bay real estate expert, and in this video I want to talk to you sellers. I want to talk about listing your home low, below market value, and how you could actually get more money doing that. Alright, so the other night I was watching TV, I was watching Shark Tank, and I saw Barbara Corcoran on there. And then a couple of days later, I figured, well, she's a real estate guru. Let me watch some of her YouTube videos. Let me watch a little bit about her. And one thing she said that was real surprising to me, she said when she was selling real estate years ago, she used to list properties below market value so that they would have like a frenzy on them, and they would eventually get more money than possibly the home was even worth, and certainly more money than they would be worth if she put them at fair market value. And I thought that was real interesting. Started thinking about it. I know some agents out there believe in that philosophy. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. And I certainly wouldn't tell Barbara Corcoran anything about how to run her business. But I really think when you look at how to list a home, when it comes to pricing, there's three strategies that people do. I think the number one thing that people do is and I've seen this over the last 20 years dealing with thousands of homeowners, talking to thousands of home buyers, is they list their home high. They say, well, I'm not really in a hurry, so we'll list it high. We could always come back down, right? That's one philosophy. The second one is, well, let's just put it on at fair market value, what it's worth, what it's going to appraise for, what a buyer will buy it for. And then the third is Barbara's theory. Let's list it low, because we'll get so many buyers in the door, they'll force the price up. First thing I have to say, it really depends on your home, on your market as well. What's going on in your market? So there's a certain amount of people that will never pay above listed price. It doesn't make any difference if it's worth substantially more than that or not. Not a lot of people. Most people want to pay what the home's worth, especially in a good real estate market like we're in. So let's break those down. First, let's take the list real low and sell real high. I understand this, and this could be a good way to go. I mean, it just depends on your state, the area that you're in, how much is your home, etc. It's not really my cup of tea. I don't like to do that, because if I have a home I'm listing for $300,000 and I put it at $280,000, what happens if no one buys it at $300,000? Let's say they only go up to $298,000 and no one buys it at $300,000. Well, then you lost money. I'm just not into that. I don't think that really works well in my market. It may, but it's a pretty big gamble with the seller's money, especially in a hot real estate market. The most common way that what most people do is they overprice it. And a lot of times this has to do with the real estate industry, because when people talk to different agents, if they talk to enough of them, and when I say enough, it could be just 2 or 3 or 5. There's most agents, a certain percentage of, I shouldn't say most, but a certain percentage of them are going to do what's called as buy the listing. And what that is they go out there, they know the home's worth $300,000, but they'll tell the seller it's worth $320,000 or $325,000 just to get the listing. And the seller's thinking, well, I would rather go with the agent that tells me $320,000, because what happens if I get it? You know, I could always drop my price, which is true. But here's the thing. And this is true from being in the business for over 20 years, and this is true statistically. The longer your home is on the market, the less you will get for your home of what it's worth. In other words, I'm not saying what the listing price is, because if you put a price at $320,000 and it's only worth $300,000, you're going to keep it on the market. You might drop it to $310,000. Then maybe you'll drop it to $305,000. By the time you get to $300,000, the home's going to be shop worn. So people are going to be looking at it, and remember when you were a buyer, this is what happened. They're looking at it, and they're going to say, why has it been on the market so long? And they're going to look at me as a real estate agent and ask that. And they're going to say, well, why doesn't anybody want it? What's wrong with it? And, you know, it puts a seller in a big disadvantage on negotiation when a home's been on the market for a while. It's the opposite. If the third route, which is what I like, is get it really, really clean. Get it marketed phenomenally. Phenomenal pictures, description, everything. Go full force. Put it on the market for what it's worth. And you shouldn't have a hard time, especially in this market, at getting full price, if not more, because everybody's going to see it's worth that. And the two things that buyers want, pretty much everybody, not just buyers, but people in general, they want what other people have. Remember when we were kids, we always wanted the other kids' toys. That's just sort of normal. I have kids, and it's always like that. You know, they always want their friends' toys. So we're the same way. So and it becomes a feeding frenzy in a lot of cases. So I personally think that's the best way to go. A lot of agents, I think they'll do the buy listing strategy and just, talk to the seller and talk them up, because at the end of the day, they're thinking, what do I care? It's not my money. I actually talked to a friend of mine, and I was very surprised. He told me one time he substantially overlisted a home. And when I asked him what he sold it for, he gave me the price, and I was surprised how low it was. And he said, well, if the seller priced it right in the beginning, we would have probably got $20,000 more, but it was on the market so long it got shop board. And I said, well, why would you take the listing? And his response was, well, what was I supposed to do? If they didn't list it with me, they just would have listed it with another agent, and that agent would have got the commission. I don't agree with this at all. But at the end of the day, it's the seller's fault for not picking the right agent. Don't base your choice off of what an agent tells you. Base your choice off of the marketing and negotiating skills that they have. And then tell them what you want to do as far as price. You're the owner. You're the decision maker. It's your home. So I hope this helps you. If you have any questions whatsoever, please contact me. If you're looking at selling a home in the Tampa Bay area, I would love to interview for the job. And check out my playlist and I'll put a link above on how to get your home sold. So if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or anything to say, leave a comment below. I wish you the best of luck. Have a wonderful day.